Okay, so if we graph that development with respect to time, so this is time, we're just going to call this your value within the system, because each one of these dots represents a concept that you understand, and we're going to call that your value. The fact that you understand concepts, language, you can communicate and be a part of our social fabric. Okay, so you develop pretty much linearly, we'll say, until you hit some sort of level where you get qualification. So at this level, little Sally wrote the bar exam or whatever, and she gets qualification. Now, the general trend for people is to level off. Now, this represents the things that you have to know otherwise, like maybe, well, let's say you have a child. Well, that's going to force you to learn a lot more too about raising kids and a whole bunch of stuff you haven't dealt with before. But the point is, we just kind of taper off, and these represent, all of these sorts of values represent things like running your new dishwasher and driving your new car with a bazillion gazmos and gadgets in it and widgets. Okay, so each one of all of these values, it doesn't matter if you just have a little bit of learning or if you had kids and whatever, decided to learn a whole bunch more here. All of these values are in the techniques layer, the technology layer. So, but they're just operating technology around your house or whatever. They're not like learning a whole skill set dedicated to that one sort of thing. So they're all over the place. Okay, so now some people get bored and they either say, okay, well, I love this medical field. I love being a doctor, but now I'm going to go on and become a researcher because I'm really interested in that. So we'll say it's the same field here. Now you're attacking this other limit up here in the same field, okay? And that represents just a continuation on the same kind of trend as before. You're just constantly learning and learning and learning. And that's the same for somebody who says, okay, well, I'm an electrical engineer, I'm bored with the electrical side of things, or it might be very advantageous for me to become involved in the mechanical side of things given my current position. I'm going to learn another engineering discipline. So instead of changing layers but keeping in the same field, we're going to keep in the same layer and switch fields. So now we're looking at the system from this angle. Okay? And again, okay, we have this continuation on the learning path. Okay. Now, the last thing that I want to talk about with respect to this graph is how we can try and cross-reference different information within these limits based on the architecture. So this is the metapragmatic strategy to developing within a system such as this system. Okay, so let's say that in this field here, okay, we get qualification. So we've got a big area like this covered, and then we've got all sorts of other ones around here. So we're looking, just like right at this point here where what are we gonna do? Are we gonna keep going on, or are we gonna kind of crest out and maybe settle down? Okay, so like we already discussed, maybe we'll just switch fields, same metasemantic viewpoint, or same field, go up to the engineering viewpoint. Okay, so we have these two options. Well, what if instead of doing either of those things, we jump over this field over here,